Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Audio Quest. Monday night, we're back live with Novice Nick. There he is, straight from a cheesecake factory, or is it a cheese steak factory?
Cheesecake Factory.
Very good. And Armando Cordoso from Vintage Mio, thanks for joining us this evening
Thanks, David.
from Waco, Texas. Let
Hey,
the
Nick.
room fill up. Waco, Texas. That's about halfway between Dallas and Austin, I guess, as the car flies on I-35, something like that. Near the silos of Chip and Joanna Gaines. So, you ever in Waco, look up Armando. His premises are 108 South 6th Street. So, if you're ever in that area, look him up. What are your hours, Armando?
Man, I just changed my hours to the only day that we really have off is Monday, with
Which is
exception to
today.
today.
Yeah.
We did work today because of the holidays. We do open. There's a lot of tourists, but generally Tuesday through Friday, 12 to 7, Saturday, 10 to 4, and Sundays, 11 to 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
sorry, Saturday, 12 to 6. There you go.
Plenty of hours.
Plenty of hours, man.
That's not a problem. So I met Armando actually through a Facebook group many years ago. He was selling records when he lived up in Portland area or Oregon, wherever. It was Oregon, I know that. Grants
Right,
Pass, that area?
No, it's right next to Beaverton. Literally
Beaverton.
right next to Nike. So
Like
I would run.
Buc-ee's.
I would run a Nike and back, so it'd be like 5 miles one way and 5 miles back.
Wow, just do it.
There.
Wow.
There.
I wouldn't make it back.
So what the heck got you into this stuff called vinyl? My goodness.
Oh man, David, I'm still trying to figure this out. You know the whole story, but the best way to describe it, if I'm again, like David was saying, I walk out my store and I look to the left and I see the silos where every year there's about 1 million visitors throughout the world for Chip and Joanna Gaines's silos, and yeah, and when you cross the I-35 freeway on the other side are Baylor students, and there's a lot of our future is very bright actually. Baylor focuses like on a lot of science, doctors, things like that, even AI, things like that. But yeah, there was a news article that was done on the business and why it was here. So if anyone wants to Google Baylor Lariat, the Baylor news article / Vintage Mio Records, they did a really good job of why I'm here, what the goal is of like our business model, and who I travel with. So yeah, it's very well done, but it just feels like home. It feels like Waco in general called me. It's an up and coming city. There's a lot of very polarized where there's a lot of poverty, but there's like a lot of wealth, and surrounded by a whole bunch of great people that just want their community to be better. So it's an up and coming city, and it's an up and coming business, and it just seems to be a really good fit.
Yeah, it is interesting. There's a lot of pockets of reinvestment and growth in Waco that you can see. Even right next to where your store is, getting places ready for new tenants and things of that nature. So, and you've got the Texas Music Cafe next door to you as well.
Oh, they just moved, but they just moved
Oh,
1
they
mile.
did.
They did.
Didn't
But they
know.
moved 1 mile down the road, so they're not too far away.
Yeah. It sounds like small town America, where
breaking news.
You have a big center base, and it just wants to grow like a small community.
Yeah, David mentioned the Texas Music Cafe, and they're a for-profit. They were up to for 26 years, up to maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and they turned into a nonprofit. But these were a group of individuals that, in my opinion, have the best sound in Texas, and they do live recordings of people that have original sound. So, and they try to help an artist get out there and be viewed. Some of their videos, I don't know, they've done stuff from Willie Nelson, Samantha Fish. They got her like 2 million views on YouTube, but their sound is impeccable, and they do this from the bottom of their hearts just to help their community.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, the other thing it does is, it brings artists into your shop.
It does.
I've
Yeah.
seen quite a few.
Well, there was just recently, one thing that we do in the store is, look, we focus on like the environment here and also like customer service. But as a thank you, everyone that purchased a record in theory does put food on my table and allows me to continue doing business. And so as a thank you, we greet every single person in here. That's part of the business model. And we've had so many artists come through the store that there's two questions that I always ask, and David, you've probably heard it. Are you famous or infamous? Because there are some infamous people that have come here, or famous people, musicians up and coming. Mel Gibson's Apocalypto guy, Rudy Youngblood, Blood. He was in here as well. But there's artists that come in all the time, and then if band members come in and they're super kind and they like the vibe, I'll put them on the spot. And if they sing a song, then everyone in the store gets like a discount. And that just happened just recently with Travis Roberts, who was on the Rolling Stone magazine last Saturday. So it's really cool.
Cool. That's excellent. What about one of the areas I know you're looking at is these tiny desk things that are getting popular in terms of bands playing even in stores.
Oh yeah. Well, David, you've seen like the growth, and we had to knock out a couple walls. We're maxed out right now, and we put some carpet. But I have like a little stage where we will be doing more of like interviews / hey, can you sing a song while after the interview kind of deal. Kind of, if you go to Vintage Mio YouTube channel, we have an example of interviewing like Trey Alfaro and the Vandaliers. They were also on the Rolling Stones magazine. They're a punk band here that started in Dallas, Texas, and interviewed Trey. He's like my brother. He's like a band member. But we've interviewed people that used to travel with Selena when she was like a little kid, 7 years of age. But yeah, we highlight those stories or things that are occurring here in Waco with local musicians, or even people who collect records, and then we put it on YouTube. So yeah.
So what's your what'd you say your content mix is in your store? Let's say new versus used.
Well, what's your perception so far, David? You've been here.
It's to me it's probably about half and half, I'd say. It goes 40-60 or whatever. Part of it is how do you get collections and those kind of things. Those are some interesting stories as well.
Well, in the last 4 years, you've seen the growth. Currently, in the storage unit, we probably have about 15 to 20,000 records, and inside the store, we've got about 15 to 20,000 as well. So, in general, what I would say is 90% of what we have is used, and I personally pick it, and about 10% of it is like the sealed stuff. And in my experience, some of the older folks are the ones that collect the older used items, and some of like the Baylor students or the younger folks tend to steer towards sealed new records, contemporary artists. But everything sells.
Yeah, it's a matter of bringing stuff in from the warehouse and having room in the store to put it up, and space is always at a premium everywhere you go. So you want to take us on a little tour?
Sure. The store is about 1,500 square feet. Like right here, we got our country section. We try to alphabetize everything, of course. We do not, or I purposely, the model isn't to overwhelm people with records. It's easy to do. It's pretty common, actually. I would rather have people come in here and bring their coffee, which I would say about 5% of the customers that come in here do have a cup of coffee. We focus on the environment, being able to find things because everything's alphabetized. and we keep it clean. We want people to have like a really good experience, to feel like, hey, this feels like home, or we wouldn't mind spending about 30 to 45 minutes and just sitting down on a chair. Like right now, we were doing some inventory counts, but have a chair right where we're doing like the tiny desk scenario, or just chill out. And so what we focus on customer service and the environment of the store. So that's vintage Mio right there.
I saw
Yeah,
you had a
so
little.
there's
Uh,
people that have signed that wall back there on the wood there. There's famous and infamous
Well,
people.
there you go. You know, uh, you've probably heard of G.I. Sanders of NTX Vinyl right there. He
Yep,
signed that. He's a brother up north. And David Bianco, you signed this right here.
I did.
Look at that. Right there's David Bianco and John Tefteller. He's a world-renowned blues record collector. Um, but
nice.
this wall right here is for folks who were significant in my business's eyes, who's always believed in me, and who have made an impact either in the local community and towards our store. On this side of the wall,
You
artists,
mean
musicians,
infamous, right?
yeah, well, it can be. So this wall right here is for artists. So we've had like Chris Gantry. Chris Gantry. He is a Hall of Fame singer songwriter, country writer. He used to be best friends with like Shel Silverstein, the author, also a musician. Um, John Denver, Johnny Cash. Actually, when I talked to him about Johnny Cash, he got emotional. Chris Christopherson, Freddie Kirch from the 13th Floor Elevators, Al Stahaley from Spirit.
Nice.
Up and coming artists like Travis Rogers, Don Flemons. He's Hall of Famer. Um, he loves Marty Robbins. The best way to describe his music is that he's probably like in his 50s, but he has that 20s, 30s blues vibe, kind of countryish though too. So he likes Marty Robbins. The best way to describe him, he's like the African American Marty Robbins, just a really good sound. Yeah. So these are for musicians here, or artists and authors, and on the other side is people who really stood out in our community that really believed in us.
Okay.
That's
To me, one of the most unique things about your business is, that you focus on uh, giving back to the community and to certain nonprofits and things. Why don't you talk to us about that? Because I think that's really a huge difference between you and the average retail store of any kind, for that matter.
There's a couple things too. Is we stress customer service as a gratitude, right? And in general, I wouldn't say necessarily that I'm different. You know, there's a lot of stores that do stuff that I can't like hire people. That's huge. You know, to put help the economy, help people put food on their tables too. I think that's amazing. Currently, it's for the most part, it's just me and a couple of volunteers here and there. But we focus on the customer service, right? And then also part of the business model is I made a goal in Oregon to raise $250,000 to vetted nonprofits. My background is more Bank Secrecy Act, anti-money laundering. I used to take on cases where there was terrorist financing, and we would combat anti-human trafficking. I used to be a top trainer in the U.S., so I've dedicated that, and seen the effects of that. In general, my life has been pretty good. Rough patches here and there, but yeah, I made a goal to raise $250,000, and I didn't even know what a record was 5 years ago. I started just slinging records online after I had quit my job right before the pandemic. I didn't know that the pandemic was going to happen, and I quit my job and I couldn't get my job back. But I started selling records, and we've stayed true to that. So the goal is $250,000, but we're currently conservatively at $47,273. So our business model, realistically, it is a for-profit business with that nonprofit feel, but this is more of a calling, um, documenting the stories and bringing everyone in the community as a not necessarily me goal. It's a we. Look what we could do with vinyl records, and we're like 20% into that goal. I do
Cool.
have Zach Top debut album. I do. I
Lee
have it.
Page. So, how can he contact you? What's the best way to
Instagram,
order.
Facebook.
Okay.
Send me a message. Send me an email through my Armando, A in the middle, Armando at vintagemio.com.
Yep,
And
I'll get that added for the banner for you.
yeah. So it's a community store, David.
Nice.
Yeah, and it has a certain vibe to it too, which is really different than most stores I go into. And the other thing is, I mean, it's like the customers. I mean, the last time I was in there,
I can't see you, Dave. I can't see you.
you don't want to see me.
I can't see Nick.
So the last time I was in there, the power went out.
Yeah.
And so there were customers in there, and they hung around, stuck around, used their phone flashlights. I was using a flashlight to help them. And I mean, we're talking several hours, 3 or 4 hours it was out. And you slung some deals out there for people who stuck around, and it was just a really unique atmosphere to see people in spite of, and you made it work with your sales system with the power we had. And I mean, that was just a testament. You'd think people just walk out and go, okay, that's it.
That's making lemonade out of lemons.
There
Well,
you
I don't
go.
know. David has this like magnetic force field around him, and he blew out my power or something like that. But David, did you notice there was about 15 people in the store when it happened, and a whole bunch of probably like a 10% of the businesses downtown in Waco went out, right? And David, the first thing that he said was, "You didn't pay the bill." And I was like, it got in my head. It got in my head, but he said it out loud, and I was like,
Yeah.
did I
That's
not pay the
cool.
bill? I paid the bill. But did you notice people were not leaving before I
Oh
offered
no.
it? And so I was
No,
like, okay.
and people came in even knowing the power was out. I mean, they didn't. Nobody walked away.
So
It's just unique. It was just unique, and it was a great day for you as well. I mean, you did really well.
you have to be creative as a business owner, no matter what, and you have to roll with those punches, right? And so I was like, how am I going to keep these people in? Saturday's bread and butter day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and if you lose out, then you're screwed for the week in ordering. So I was like, hey, thanks for sticking with me, and let's turn on some flashlights. And if all the records are 10% off, but if you spend $100 or more, let's just do 20%. No one left, David. Everyone was averaging like 30 minutes to like an hour being in the store. And it looked like a freaking concert in there where people were looking around digging with their lights. And David was helping. It was really incredible.
That is cool. Speaking of being like a concert, did I see a little nook or corner back there with some instruments and such?
I did, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you do live music there. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, I don't do live music yet. Now, look, my personality is I like to have all the tools in the kitchen, or like all the stuff in the kitchen, so that when someone knows how to cook or has that gift, I have these things ready, right?
Nice.
So I'm a huge advocate, a huge fan of like the tiny desk. I'm not sure if you've seen that, Nick.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
And how it started was extremely organic. I didn't realize that I created something like that. I probably had about 30 people in the last year ask me if I was purposely creating that, and it got in my head, and I started thinking, well, what's the best way to document people's stories as I'm doing that? And it's through sound. So right now, currently, we just ordered the MSK 418 shotgun mic, similar to like the tiny desk, and some more instruments. And we will be working on the sound part. Now, now I did. Now there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people, musicians that come through here. A lot of country artists and up and coming up, a country artist that have already agreed to be recorded. So you get a one shot to get some of these folks that have like 10 albums out there.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of friends. We have had Chris Shiflett from the Foo Fighters here. He was in the store. Friends with Wade Bowen's bassist. Chris Kalunga is up and coming. He's really good friends with Braxton Keith and Aaron Watson. So yeah, there's some things in the pipeline.
One of the guys was asking, did you say Al Stahey from Spirit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really cool. He's actually a an attorney and an advocate for he does stuff with like the music scene, but he came in here, he signed my wall. I know he does some stuff with like the Texas Music Cafe and Freddie Kirch, but I think he's been in here twice already.
Cool.
Really nice guy.
Great. Cranberry sauce. I'm glad you got the record. Glad you enjoyed it. We'll do our name that tune later. We'll get you guys caught back up.
Outstanding.
So, Waco is it's a college town. I mean, for a fair 9 months of the year or whatever. Uh, and so, what's your experience with some of the kids that are in college?
You know, look, I'm a parent. I always speak well of my kid. Extremely different generation and mindset, right? Um, you know, I believe that the future is bright no matter what, right? Baylor, they are training some kids to do like to be doctors, and attorneys are huge here, right? Attorneys come in here every week. They're smart kids, and some of these tools that they have that we didn't have back in the days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gosh, I think some of them even use AI to um, like to study and things like that. It's incredible. But yeah, they're super smart. They're extremely. I was told that probably out of like maybe exaggerating, but maybe 1 out of 30 students have like a turntable in their dorm, even if it's like one of those small things.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they're smart enough. They know the difference between physical media and streaming. They get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Had a question here about someone asking if Billy Joe Shaver from Waco.
Yeah, you know what's in who's this Cripple Creek?
Yeah.
The first bar that I went to, like the major bar that I went to probably like 2.5 years ago, was a place called Papa Joe's. It's about 10 miles south, and it's very well known because Billy Joe Shaver, I'm not sure if he's from Waco, but he has ties here. He was in the bar, and this guy was giving him a hard time, and he ends up shooting a guy in the mouth.
Ouch.
And if you look at the story, I think it took Willie Nelson, who also has ties here in Waco, to really help him out with his court case, and he actually ended up walking. But I know the owner of Billy or Papa Joe's, and he was describing it, and he even showed me exactly where a Billy Joe Shaver shot the man in the mouth. Um,
Mm.
I actually picked up one of Billy Joe Shaver's promo records in New Jersey, and that's pretty valuable with a picture of him on it. But yeah, he's actually him, Ted Nugent are in this area. Got people from like The Voice here um, as well. Gosh, Wade Bowen, Charlie Crockett's really huge here as well. It's
You, you,
extremely
you
talented with music.
you need to tell them the loud guitar story.
The loud guitar.
Next
Well,
door.
well, just don't say anything, guys. So there's 20 people in the store, and at the time, Texas Music Cafe, we shared this wall. The stage is right behind me, and I generally would advertise for their shows, and I have an idea who's coming into the venues, who's performing, and I advocate to get folks in there. Um, and there's tourists all throughout the whatever that come here, and so there was a lot of noise in the background. I actually recorded it, and I heard this guy screaming, and it sounds like the Charlie Brown sound, but like someone's angry. It was like, and a lot of thumping. And I was like, man, someone's upset or mad. And if it wasn't 20 people in my store, I'd do a wellness check for my brothers. Like, it's not going well. And there's a lot of screaming, and then it stops. And then the second time round, it starts again with the Star Spangled Banner, and it went like, do 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 do, and I was like, this is really good guitar playing. And then he starts singing. I was like, oh, I think I don't recognize this sound. This is really good. And then it stops, and it starts again. I have to just say what I heard. I heard F Joe Biden, F this, F this, F this. Okay, go to details. And I was like, well, this is insane. So I was like, I hope there was a little kid here. I was like, I hope he's not hearing these F bombs. So I text the manager, like next door, head of Texas Music Cafe, and I was like, dude, what's going on? And he's like, sorry, Ted's warming up. But yeah, it is what it is.
What happens in Waco stays in Waco.
Oh, dude, I don't know, man. There's some crazy stuff that goes here.
That's funny.
If I
Love or
disappear,
hate him, he can play.
you
Yeah.
can. But
So
another
what?
legend too, that don't quote me on this, but quote me on this, is David Zaitchik, who passed away, about 10, 15 years ago. But he was so loyal. He was up there with some of the best guitar players ever, period. And he decided to stay in Waco, amongst his community, and help out and keep it local, so to speak. And he didn't make it, but he toured with like Night Ranger and things like that. But if you ever look up his story, he's incredible.
Now you have a little book you keep by the register there.
Oh yeah, I wasn't like
Tell us about that little book.
I wasn't preaching the gospel or anything like that. So part of my motivation, guys, is look, and I share these stories all the time. Like, Nick, we're all winners. Nick, do you have kids?
Yeah.
Nick, do you have any children?
No.
I just found out that David had a bunch of kids.
I'm his kid. I'm
You
his
got my
kid.
share.
Look, one common principle is that, and in general, I hope that everyone knows, is that everyone's a winner, no matter what the circumstances, right? And I went from financial crimes, making 6 digits, and feeling like I had a prestigious job. And when I lost it selling records, it hurt my soul a little bit, right? But again, I had a lot at the time, and I didn't feel it as much. When my daughter kind of smirked at me, she couldn't understand how here I am, dad, slinging records. But I wasn't sure if it was a disappointment. But I remember seeing her smirk, and it hurt my soul. And deep down inside, it just hurt my soul. So I was like, damn you, kid. I'm going to raise $250,000 for nonprofits. Our life has been really good. And when I opened up a record store, which I didn't even want, but I didn't know how to move 20,000 records, I started having people sign this book. I call it the Damn You Kid, This Is What Dad Did book. And there's people from throughout the world, from Russia to China to, I don't know. I was going to say North Korea. That's not possible. South Korea.
They got out.
Yeah, they got out. But people from all throughout the world that have signed this book, and she's going to be here on Record Store Day, and then we're going to give this to her. But this is my Damn You Kid, This Is What Dad Did book. The reason why this is so important to me is I'm not always going to be here. Everyone has an expiration date. But if Dad could sell over $1 million worth of records during his lifetime, not knowing what the record was, and donate $250,000, that's like the goal. When I leave, maybe she'll remember that when she's hitting a hard time. If Dad could do it, so can she. So that's part of the business model, and this is why this book is so important. It's the most important thing in the store.
Yeah, no, it's a great legacy, and it's when you read them, the entries are very interesting and heartfelt by people that have come in. And one thing I'd like when I walk in a shop is I like to be greeted, and I like to get a feel or a vibe for the engagement of the person that runs the store. And sometimes bigger stores, they're just too busy to, or too distracted. I don't know what it is. So that is really a really strong aspect of the store. And people come in asking you questions, asking you for information. I mean, a lot of that happens.
Yeah. Alphabetized.
I've even gotten a few calls. People said, do you know this guy Armando? He told me to call you.
But
I need a
David,
turntable.
oh yeah, man, you're my lifesaver. I don't pretend to know anything, but I know that I have a good or like a good mentors. David's a mentor. John Tefteller's a mentor. Michael Fremer, been in his home a couple times. He's always a resource for me. He's a mentor, and so yeah, it is what it is. But David, Nick, David has been here to see some of the most incredible flows in my store. Even like when the lights went out, David was here. So he's a good luck charm. Record store day last year in November was the first year, and
Yep.
gosh, I think in those 2 or 3 days we had about 14 to 1,500 people come inside the store. And if it wasn't for David like volunteering and helping, there's no way that I could have done this, even me being fast.
Yeah. Unbeknownst to you, I've been there every time David's been there.
I'm always
Oh,
talking to Nick.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah. I
okay.
was there when the lights went out. Yeah.
He's, he did,
Record store day.
He
Yeah.
knows.
It
Well, I
was,
brought
it,
you. You
it's been
bought
a
some
nice
records, and I
journey to
brought them to your
it's been
house.
a nice journey to follow you, Armando.
oh
And you've
yeah.
Yeah.
been a very inspiring person.
Well, we've got some. Well, it's in general. It's a we thing. I'm just a middle person, and again, I think the thing that makes the store a little bit special is I ask people, okay, I'm not concerned about the stuff that I have. I'm more concerned about the stuff that I don't have. So what do I need to order? What do I need to get in the store? And oftentimes when people like, especially like the youngsters, you don't have this, you don't have this. I was like, all right, so I order on the spot, you know?
Yeah.
And with John Tefter, I travel with him. So I've been in like 38 different states the last 2.5 years. I've seen with my own eyes over in 2 locations, 5 million records and 2 million in the other. So about 10 million records in the last 3 years. We do know where there's 4 lots out there totaling 1.1 million records that are just waiting to be purchased, and we're just waiting for them to let go.
It's almost like looking at a body of water. Each droplet of water is unrecognizable from the next, but
Oh,
yet together there they are.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
seeing this, Nick, how many records do you have in your collection?
Uh, 2,200.
That's really good. You know, the problem, the reason why I don't collect records is because yeah, it's some people could get like addicted to it. It's a very addicting thing.
Yes.
There's like a certain balance in all things. But you'd be surprised some of these folks that have 5 million records, they're addicted to the point they don't even listen to them, and their houses are falling down. When I say 5 million records, that's a real number.
Yeah, that's just, hey, uh, 2,000 is a real number. When you go to store them, 2,000, 8,000 is a real number.
Oh
So
yeah,
when you're getting into those numbers there, that's just, that's like I said, the ocean, you know, unrecognizable from one to the next. Knowing where they are, it's got to be a remarkable feat if you do. And
crazy.
yeah, I can understand just getting into one band. I think I have, I don't know, 65 Beatle records. They put
Oh,
out 13 albums. How do
13
what?
official. Yeah. But,
13
Yes.
official.
Like,
but then
stop.
there's compilations and there's reissues and
And
there's remasters and remixes.
then they drop one unbeknownst to the world out of the moon that no one knew about and no one leaked. That was insane. You know,
Yeah.
the
It
monoboxes.
happens now and then.
Yeah.
Oh, so
But yeah,
Armando, what would you say is the kind of the mix of what people are looking for? I mean, I know you have a fairly decent uh, country group that looks for older country. It seems like a lot of
You're cutting out a little bit, but everything sells here, David.
you there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep,
I
So
hear both of you fine.
you're fine.
everything sells here. It's very strange. What's interesting about the store is classical in quantity, not dollar wise. Classical records outsell Taylor Swift 3-1 here. Uh, it's geographically where you're located is where like that's where you're gonna sell like your genre. I assume if you go to like the Philly or Philadelphia, a lot of classic rock stuff like that. Classic rock sells everywhere, like heavy metal type deal. Here, everything literally sells, including like Glenn Miller.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Glenn's great. Are you kidding?
No,
Absolutely.
but it's the education here too, surrounding Baylor and MCC, like the community colleges here. We have opera singers. There's conventions and there's events held, and there's like 19 to 25-year-olds in school who are opera singers
Yeah.
and could quote Beethoven concerto, whatever, like it's a different language, and our future is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful and refreshing to see.
Cranberry sauce. The 47 on there is the 47,000 part of $47,273 donated. It's not a presidential reference.
Yeah, I put that in the notes. Is my mic on?
But that hopefully,
Your
David,
mic's on.
when you're here, that number will increase with some of the record store day
sure.
titles that we're selling.
So you're all in now for Record Store Day in April, right?
Yep. Absolutely. We already placed our order.
Oh, you have placed. I was going to ask.
Now, Nick, do you
Yes.
see any on the list that you really like, Nick?
There's a few, absolutely. Yep. And I get a chance to come by. I won't be waiting in line out front. But
He'll buy through me, I
like
guess.
Yeah, and there was a time where I'm sure that's got to be a blast chatting with other people that love music and discussing music and what you want, and complete strangers. That's something from my youth that is heavily missed. Just well, I say heavily missed. I get strangers in my restaurant every day, which is neat, and you get to find out where they're from. The kind of what you do, retail. And you get to hear stories from all over the world, which is it's refreshing, it's nice, and you enjoy it. You learn, you find out about the human condition, which is just when you have it figured out, you don't have a clue, right?
Yeah.
Learning every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is an interesting question, Armando. It has to come up when someone says the word Waco.
Waco.
Oh, well, what's interesting is that, David, you have just as much input about this as I do.
I do. One day we went.
It was on a Monday.
Oh.
Yes. We just wanted to do something different. And I'd never been there, and I don't know that I'd want to go back.
Yeah.
The word eerie comes to mind. It just felt really eerie. There's a like an old looking church like building there, and pamphlets, but you see where the pool was before and where they buried the bus. It was kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It was the first time that I've ever been to. Again, with David, I experienced a lot of things when you're here. That when the church that they rebuilt, like a little small church, was opened, and there was no one there. There was just like a historical, like monuments of like what had occurred, and they were blaming the government and all that stuff, and they had like the names of the victims that were burnt or consumed in fire. In there. It was very eerie. But yeah, that's about 9 miles away from me, north going towards Dallas. I like Waco being the middle person because I believe in the youth here. And they want their city to be better. And sometimes there's a weight of negativity about Waco, or a negative stigma, when certain things didn't even happen here. That did not happen here.
Right.
It happened in Axtell. But Waco was the closest thing, like biggest city that people could understand. So it's a farce that actually occurred in Waco. It should
Right.
be the Davidians, Axtell, Texas. Uh, things that people don't know. I actually posted on my personal page. You probably saw it, David, but there's misconceptions. It's an eerie feeling. A lot of people don't like talking about it. It's like taboo. Uh, a lot of people knew him. There's a lot of stories that I've I've heard from people who actually got pulled over from him. Um, gosh, I know folks that I could even have them on a documentary, and they talked directly about like false gods, and he got upset and he just stormed out with his like bodyguard type deal. He's a huge musician. He was a huge musician, had his own band, would oftentimes recruit folks. Um, yeah, but it's literally, if you guys ever want to see that place, it's always open doors, and it's right next to one of the biggest tourist spots in Waco, apart from the silos, which is called Surf Waco. Now, if you look up Surf Waco, it's a man-made surf place where artists go, like Chris Shiflett from the Foo Fighters goes there, Forrest Frank, Jackass, Steve-O, he was there. Like
Hmm.
all these musicians come from throughout the world to experience that. And it literally is like 1 mile or less from the Davidian compound.
And what
So things
goes on
are
at that? What goes on at that facility?
nothing. I think it's just a church, and like it's a
No, no,
monument
no. I
from.
meant the surf place.
Oh,
Sir,
it's surfing. It literally is. It's like a man-made surf place.
Oh,
man-made waves then.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
They throw parties there.
hey, Johnny. Yeah, I'm not. I've not. We'll have to. That'll have to be another exploration.
Yeah, let's go, Dave. Let's go. I'll just say, hey, my name is Armando, VIP, Vintage Mio Records, safe in South Texas. Oh, they're like, oh yeah, okay, you come in for free.
Yeah. So what would you say is the rarest record you've had in your store?
Um,
Or several, whatever,
there was a people are aware that I travel with Mr. Tefteller, and so sometimes they meet up here. And there was a G plus Charlie Patton record that John Tefteller bought here, and he paid 5 digits for it. The deal went down in my store. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like I don't know. There's a lot of nichey $200-300 records that I bring from all over. Norman Dolph was the producer of Velvet Underground.
Mm-hmm.
Died in November 2022. I bought his jazz records. He actually
Oh,
produced the original Velvet Underground, like the banana cover.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nico,
Nico.
but he engineered it with Tom Wilson of Waco.
Oh, cool.
And what's interesting about that, when I moved here I am with 4,000 jazz records, because Norman Dolph was a huge jazz guy, even though he worked with Andy Warhol. I was expecting like more psych. I befriended a man in Waco that loves Tom Wilson and has almost all his discography. He's the one that found me first. So I thought that's really interesting. I don't know. We got all of our records have stories, from Norman Dolph, the producer of Velvet Underground, the New Jersey lot. Um, gosh, I don't know. All our records have stories, David.
Yeah. Being diversified with your genres, not only as a seller but as a listener, really is enjoyable. Uh, do you find time to stop and listen outside of listening to it while you're at work?
No, I don't, and that's my hell. Oftentimes with
I
as a
can so relate to that hell.
yeah, it's because of reputation. With how you grade and price your records, you're listening for clicks and you're not listening on lyrics.
But not only I'm in the restaurant business, So the last thing I ever get to do in my own restaurant is eat. So kind of like consuming music, to actually sit down and enjoy it and listen to it. It's something you can't do at your place, because there's always something else to do. And like you said, you're listening for clicks, pops, and grading versus just the sheer enjoyment of.
Oh yeah.
So I understand that. Oh, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's
Have I had
asking if you had, yeah, you see it.
yeah, what was that, Joanna Gaines sightings? I have. They're very much aware that I'm looking for them. Um, they are
Oh, stalker in the house.
absolutely.
Oh,
I want to meet him. I don't care about anything that they have or what they're worth. It's the fact that I want to meet Chip. Um, it's how he loves Joanna, no matter what. These are actually really good people. They've done really good things in the community. There was a lot of crime here. A lot of it's completely different. It was uh, how it was like 10 years ago. Even they 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 helped clean this up. They helped make it better. I know property taxes went up and stuff like that, but man, it's a safer place. I just want to meet him, throw the ball around. For his 50th birthday, I gave him a record with a little note, and I have seen him. I have seen them. Um, yeah, I actually have seen them a couple times. There was one instance where he was jaywalking with a Hispanic gentleman. I was trying to wonder if it was like the shorty guy in his shows in the past. But I was pissed off. It was a one way, and he was going to this urban place where they had like a mixture of food. And it was a one way. I was driving through the green light, and they were jaywalking. And the first guy had 4 or 5 kids, the Hispanic guy, and was crossing the street. And I was so pissed off, and I was like, I said something like this. I had my hand up in the air, and I looked to the left, and I see Chip with the other 3 or 4 kids. And I was cussing, not because I had to stop when I had the right of way, and they were
Not a good look.
jaywalking. And so when I was looking like this, and I saw Chip, he thought I was waving. And so there was an awkwardness, and he kind of waved back to me. And when I realized it was Chip, I rolled down the window. I panicked, didn't know what to do, and I was like, "Chip, Vintage Mio Records." And yeah, that was my last sighting.
Uh,
and 20 minutes later, he got pulled over by the police. But anyway, no.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, there's security.
Well, yeah, it's a
I'm
interesting,
very
interesting.
yeah. They have purchased some records from me through friends.
yeah, that's cool. Supporting the local
Good.
community always. Yeah, that's one of the big things. We're in a very small community. How many people live in Waco? Do you know?
Over 100,000.
Okay, see, I'm even in a smaller town than that,
Oh yeah.
and the trying to rebuild basically what it sounds like Waco is us on a smaller scale, and it's not an easy thing to do. So getting any good progress forward is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and one thing, the thing that Waco has as a stimulus, of course, is the college and younger people because of it. Whereas a lot of smaller towns, younger people tend to leave,
Yeah.
and don't stay or come back. And that really makes, it makes you get dying churches, dying businesses. It's so the big advantage Waco has, I think, the college is
Oh,
always a
absolutely.
stimulus. Baylor is always a stimulus.
Absolutely, always new faces coming through, and some of those kids will come back to live there. They really, no matter what they do, some will come back because it was a period in their life that is held near and dear to them, and they will come back since it is turning that corner and want to be part of that. Even in our little
Hmm.
town here,
Yeah.
there's some of that. We don't have a college to that size, and the closest local college we have that has campuses is outside of town. Now we do have schools that are in downtown and they dot across town, but they're more technical schools and such. They're not your kids coming in, 4 or 5 years with mom and dad's credit card, living on campus and all that. It's a different structure. So having a college of that size and magnitude makes a big difference to regrowth. And I'm glad you're part
I
of it.
was having a conversation with someone. Yeah, I was having a conversation with someone today that collects and really collects classic rock, and said he's finding it harder and harder to find classic rock in good, very good, very good plus, or minty condition. Do you find that to be the case, Armando?
Absolutely. And I think I know we briefly kind of talked about that maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, slightly. Overall, I don't care what the naysayers say. In my background, I base things on facts, not CNN or Fox's or all these news sources and New York Times that think that they have like these dollar amounts or like records are going down or whatever it is. In financial, you base things on, hey, you know, retail stores are doing really well, and maybe the news reports are 2 or 3 or 4 months behind. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so so when people are saying CDs are down or they're up, and I don't know, consistently, it's always been consistently going up for us. You know what I mean? And when you make
Mm-hmm.
these phone calls, also with I have friends in North Carolina and Portland and uh, Arkansas, and they're all going up. You know what I mean? It's like it's good to know what's actually happening, like on the ground. That's more reliable. Uh, Classic rock records and LPs records are doing very well, but classic rock specifically, it's getting harder to find, and the reason for it is they've increased in value. But now I think, my opinion, you're getting more international presence collecting classic rock. If you look at Discogs, I think China's now even in the game the last 2 or 3 years, right? Gosh, when I started during the pandemic, there wasn't Chinese nationals who were had a presence selling records. You know, now Japan got into Billy Joel. If you haven't seen like the prices on Billy Joel records, they've skyrocketed. And why? Look at all those folks from Japanese nationals who are purchasing records and selling records, right? There's more of a need. It's not necessarily the folks from Japan taking blue or jazz, right? Or jazz blues. Now it's getting into classic rock.
Yeah.
So
The people of Japan are aging out, and the younger collectors are coming along, and they're getting more into the rock versus the older Japanese that were into jazz.
yeah. So overall,
Yeah.
I think record sales, I think they're doing well.
How about CDs?
Yeah, they're doing well
Yeah.
because as the prices or because the lack of quantity or availability for some of these records, they turn to CDs. That there's an interesting thing too is online. I would say 90% of the buyers are male, maybe more. In store, I would say that 60% are male dominated. But when
Wow.
it comes to CDs in my store, 60 to 65% are female. And I'm not sure if that's a convenience deal or I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but no matter what, increases of physical media is doing very well.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
you
start.
you have a lot of ladies that come into your store, just generally, a lot.
Yeah.
Well, that's for Armando. It's not the
Yeah.
records.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I should know
Oh,
better. Yeah. Yeah.
please. Single forever. Forever.
This is starting to fall into the records and CDs. The physical media for movies as well is starting to regenerate because they got all these. You can stream the movie Sure, if you want to pay the premium for no commercials and lesser quality, but for those that want to actually own their own property, see it when they want to see it without a service, just like records and CDs, it's starting to come back.
Yeah, the question here, Alex Dickey asked he said that he's heard that California retail shops are backing off on buying classic rock. Are you buying? And I think the answer is yes.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. And I'm not sure.
Absolutely.
I'd like to talk to these people who are reporting this. I would say that a retail storefront, would have a more difficult time making it as a record store establishment if they did not have classic rock.
Yeah.
I think some of those places have stockpiled a bit though too. So maybe they're flush
Well, sell them to
because
me.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah, exactly. Some people are turning to CDs because the price of vinyls. Yeah, the
Yeah.
price of vinyl. That's true, Johnny.
Yep.
There is that aspect.
And even super audio CDs are being talked about.
Well, yeah, they're relatively reasonable given the comparison.
Yes, absolutely.
$30, $35 versus 125, 150.
Yeah.
The other thing too that I've been seeing, right? Look. The goal is $250,000 no matter what. It's not something that I feel so much of a pressure anymore. It's part of the business model. And when I make it, and if I have, I don't know, like $2 million worth of inventory, I could walk away. It's the journey and how we as a community are doing this, right? It's like those stories, miracles that are happening in the store, right? It just blows my mind. Now, I do see patterns. I'm very analytical with certain patterns. And, we keep the prices down. I know exactly when sales are occurring with distributors, just like stores in California and New York and New Jersey and all that stuff. But ultimately, as a store owner, I have to make that decision how much I'm going to charge for that record. Now, it would be easier for me to lower prices because I'm an LLC that's more a sole proprietor. I have one employee, just myself, right? So I could lower those prices. I'm not one of those stores that has employees, and so they have to mark
Yeah,
certain things up. But
yeah.
there
Less overhead.
are antiques and stores, or there are certain stores that I've actually seen them, and I've actually heard on some of these auctions. I listen to what people say, like based on my background. I'm very technical. Oh, we don't make that much money on this. It's a couple bucks, maybe $4 or $5. When in reality, they're marking that sucker up like $10 or $15. So I think distributors have sales all the time on certain brands. Like, I don't know. I know things are going up, but also distributors, when they're not pumping out as much volume, they got to sell these records too, and they'll lower the price. And that does commonly happen. Now, when that does happen, we do lower that price, and there's some good stores out there too. You know what I mean? I'm pulling for all good, honest record stores out there.
Yeah. Owning a store, of course, though, is you sell through a multitude of ways. You're on Discogs and you have your website. And, have you seen a trend away from Discogs, or is it still pretty active?
I think it's slowed down a lot.
Okay.
And I wonder if if I had the opportunity to go to Portland, I actually went to Discogs like 4 or 5 years ago to interview them. But I pulling reports because I'm analytical. I used to dabble with reports in my career, and I'm curious to see what like what the age groups are for Discogs, if it's 40 or above. And what I'm talking about, like what the demographic
Yeah.
is, because in my mind,
Sure.
man, a lot of them have already bought the records that we want,
Right. No,
maybe we just,
there's that, and I think that people have jumped in the bandwagon of selling sometimes, and they're grading stuff on eBay, and it's nothing like what they're saying it is, and it just it becomes a little bit of the Wild West sometimes now, with people just jumping in because they can go buy a couple boxes of records and they think they can resell them. Here we got a question coming in, Alex. Blue Note or the big labels do their 25% off their websites. Mike at the In Groove said he can barely buy product himself at that price.
No, I just don't get bummed off of those things, no matter what, like the lights went out, I have to adjust, deal with it, like if you've been in this industry for 20, 30 years selling records, you already know. So find a different way to compensate with that loss.
Yeah. I mean, obviously everybody's, going after some of the same pool, but your pool's pretty local. It's much more local, and those that know you through the sales you've done on Facebook or whatever method you've used. So you already kind of have a more intrinsic customer base in that regard.
Yep.
And so, people that are going to go shop on Amazon or whatever, they're going to do it. They're just going to do it. There's, it is what it is. But at the same time, I know there's a lot of people that feel like I don't mind paying. I'd rather pay a couple bucks more and have an institution I can go to that has selection and ability to pick it up, feel it. The guy I was talking to today about the classic rock, he said, "Hey, I'm willing to pay more if I could look at it, see it, know what condition it's in, and not have to mess around with somebody sending it back or whatever." That's a hassle. That's nothing but a hassle.
Yep. Yeah, the retail is so difficult. Keeping the stock, keeping customers happy. And, the other day I needed something. I looked at it online. I'm like, well, that's pretty cheap. I'm like, huh. I said, wait, we have a store in town. So I left my town, crossed the river, went across the other town, went down there. I'm like, hey, he's got the same selection. Is a buck more. Oh, really? He's employing people in the town.
Plus
Let's
bird in the hand.
Yeah. Well, not only that, I specifically didn't buy it online so I could go spend the dollars in town, support the
Yeah.
locals, keep the store open. That's what's important, is keeping the stores open, because it's so hard to compete with, just the ease of. It seems like we're getting less and less going out into the community, and then people say there's nothing to do. Well, it's because you keep supporting, a lot of these places that sell it for a buck cheaper, drop it off at your house for no charge, but you missed half of the experience of getting the product. If
Mm-hmm.
it's a luxury product, let's say a guitar strap or a guitar, records, you don't get it's kind of like the same thing of putting records on a turntable. You go to the record store for the same type of experience. It's not putting the record on the turntable, but it's touching and feeling and looking and reading, and supporting a local business that's adding back to the community, whether they are for profit or non-profit. You're still supporting someone in your town. And
Yep.
we need to do that more and more. A lot of times I'll get people, they're coming through town, they're only spending one night, and I'll ask, well, how'd you find us? And they said, we kept looking till we found a family owned restaurant, or a family owned place.
Non-chain. Yeah.
Yeah,
Non-chain.
because the chains are everywhere and they do employ people, but we understand how hard it is and the struggle of the sole proprietors, the family that's been there for 40 years, blood, sweat, and tears.
I'm just a huge advocate of also, I think I feel in my experience, I used to monitor all different genres and accounts, from money services businesses, salons, all that stuff.
Right.
And like what I've learned is that the businesses that do well are the businesses that adjust. If Armando's serving the same thing, nothing ever changes in here. Of course, people don't want to come back. You have to create that experience, right? If this gets stale, maybe I need to get some coffee in here, or a bigger size. You know what I mean? Like the tiny desk scenario, something completely different. Maybe I'll ask the customers what they want, take a survey, and they just implement it. You know what I mean? But I think that's something that's truly important. I'm doing decently, and I don't carry all these MoFi brands, or I don't carry all these like acoustic sounds, unless they come in a collection. Sure, I'll go there. People are having just as much fun with those, I don't know, the $10 master disc Steve Miller than the $125 MoFi represses or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think that's one of the reasons why I love David Bianco a lot, is because this gentleman's chooses to spend all of his time not making a dime, imparting all of his knowledge, going throughout the U.S., interviewing people on knowledge, so you have a record that will never be taken away for our future. And he does it for free.
Yeah.
Open-ended. You know, David and I will always disagree with how I alphabetize stuff.
I thought that was going to be such a topic not to be touched.
But
we almost made it through the whole show.
I know. I'm glad you brought it up, though.
But in general, like when David gives advice, he's very open-minded and he doesn't belittle.
Yeah.
And I think things like that will always keep this going forward to our youth. That, and also introducing them to really good equipment. Like introduce the youth to equipment, because once they hear it, whether it's an $8 to $10 record and you have the right equipment to listen to it and know the difference, you can't unhear it. And I think that's what's going to keep us
in the industry. Carver. You got a carver there, right? You have a carver?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, a carver.
You got some serious gear there, bud.
And I'm surrounded by a genius who knows how to restore all equipment, like Macintoshes. He knows how to restore all this stuff. But two, the other thing that I think why records will never go away, or actually three, it's an addiction. It heals. It's been proven to help neurodiverse folks. Also, streaming sources will never give the artist a margin. So I volunteered to, for example, fund Chris Kalunga's first country album. Now, if he were to pay for it and just live off the margins, he could still do $15 to $20 per record on the margin. That's way better than anything out there currently that an artist can make. We just need more artists to press records. And I think that's going to save records too.
Yeah. Hey, one last topic quickly. We talked about RSD, but just the process of a store owner, you got to get accepted for RSD. And I know it took a while to go through that process and get big enough, so to speak. But the way you go through ordering and how that process works, and then what you end up getting, just at a macro level, can you walk us through that?
Yeah. So last year, I'm going to be very specific in general too. I ordered $25,000 worth of records for the store. Yeah. And I probably got about 14 to 15,000 of them. Now this year, I put in a request for $37,000 worth of records. That's wholesale price. I don't know how much I'll get. It's a crapshoot. And they start coming in probably late March. The distributors don't even know. They're just like, here you go. And then somehow they've got all these, a pool of people that qualify for record store date titles and their requests. And then they decide with the distributor and RSD who gets what.
Isn't that a scary?
Yeah, so you could order 20 and get 0. You could order 20 and get some subset of 20.
Possibly, like if there's 500 pressed and I asked for 20, there's a chance that I'll get 0. So like Kiss, there was like a 2 Kiss records that had like the liquid in them. Forgot what they're called
Yep.
because I'm getting. I didn't get any. But there was only like 500 pressed at the time until they reissued some more. So yeah, but in general, for example, I have the list right here in front of me. Like Weezer or Ween, Europe 90. There's 7,000 available. I put in a request for 11. There's 7,000 available. Chances are I'll get most of them. Just depends on the quantity, limited amounts. Mute math.
It's always always within reach.
I put in a request for 20 of them.
Yeah.
Now 3,130 of them are available in the U.S. or this
Right.
RSD.
Yep.
Maybe get 3 or 4. Who knows?
Armando, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. The first time and even this time ordering so many dollars worth of albums, is it kind of scary in a way that you don't know what you're going to get, what you might be stuck with, what may sell, what might not sell?
No, I'm actually privileged in this area. Like November, there was a lot of naysayers about the list last year. It actually bothered me.
Always are, though. Yeah.
Black Friday one, yeah.
Because in general, I know what my store would buy. I have tourists coming here all over the place, and the locals and like the students. Like 95% of the stuff that I ordered went.
Great.
So like, I don't know. Like even if there were 15,000 Van Halens available and I ordered 50, I know eventually I'd sell them all.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to order what we feel comfortable with, but I've just been blessed in an area where I feel I can move these things. And now there's rules with auctions. You can't do auctions until the next day.
Right.
But having that, you're able to move more of these things.
Oh.
And breaking even should not be a problem unless you're some massive store or a very small store that orders way too much.
Well, that's good to know. I'm glad.
Know thy customer.
Yes.
Waterloo
Absolutely.
Waterloo Best described it in a comment. They were going back and forth on a comment. I was surprised at Waterloo comment. Someone was complaining about how much RSD they had left over, and Waterloo just said in a sentence, "Looks like an ordering problem." And yeah, you have to know your location and your customer.
Yep. Well, great. Well, Armando, thank you so much for taking the time today. Again, those of you that may have joined a little late, if you need to check him out, he's in Waco near the silos and just down 6th Street from them. And if you have any questions or needs, vintagemio.com or email Armando if you want to know about anything in terms of what he has or what he can get for you. And remember that these purchases go toward his donations that go to nonprofits and centers that help battered women and children that are abused or any kind of St. Jude, all sorts of variety of good causes. So Armando is always good spending time with you.
I just wanted one last
Yes,
thing, David. You're
Sure.
going to see hopefully another miracle. I forgot to mention is I'm very grateful for all the support, and there's a lot of poverty here in Waco. And officially now, I'm letting all the viewers know that Vintage Mia will be donating the first $10,000 of Record Store Day titles back to Caritas Waco, which is food relief for people that are struggling in our community. So as a thank you for all the success that we've had in the last 2.5 years, and the support, we will be donating the first combination of the cost of goods sold for RSD items plus the margins for our first $10,000 sales. And if you like what we're doing, we're going to take those funds and we're going to see if we could buy minimum $10,000 worth of food for Carados Waco. So let's see what we can do as a community. And if you like what we're doing, just support a business by buying some of the used records. That's how we could recoup.
Excellent.
Make that happen.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're going to make it happen. I'll be there with you for RSD in April, and can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Go team.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, go team. Thanks. Have a good one. Thank you. See you, buddy. Take care. Bye. There's a good guy. Yeah. Doing good stuff. Doing good stuff.
What time is it, David?
I'm sorry?
What time is it?
It is, I think it's almost time for something. Let's see if I have a way to show you. Of course, if I had a producer out there, I wouldn't have to worry about this. But in spite of that, it looks like it's Name that tune. Name that balloon. All right, everybody. We got a list. Anybody we've got a few that have some numbers, right?
Yes, we do. Oh, we're ready.
All right.
We got a bunch of people with that are, let's see, no one can win a record tonight to be shipped, but we have we have a bunch of single wins. See, Cranberry Sauce has got 2. Wyoming Dave I haven't seen tonight. I hope he is well.
I haven't seen him either.
He has 1. Also with 1 is Concert Buddy, Harkmuir, Mugu Mugu, Kuro Kelly, Katruya, Dr. Johnny Fever, Breakfast King, Leola, and Andy G. All have 1 win.
Okay.
So let's see. I hope somebody did some studying for a record we didn't get last week.
Yeah, there's been a few of them.
Yes. But let's see what we can do this week. You ready, Dave?
Here comes. I'm ready. Let's let the first one flow. And let's make it an easier one. We'll slide in easy. How's that?
Oh, you played way too much of that. That's so easy.
Come on.
Who we got? Dawson's here. Hey, Dawson.
Hey, Dawson. President accounted for.
Yes. Good to
play a little more.
Okay. Paperback writer. Got What It Takes.
Who wrote that?
That was Cranberry Sauce. You got what it takes. That is
correct. Dave Clark 5. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Good. That's
excellent. One of their later hits. Okay, yes. Cranberry Sauce. What's that put him up to? 3?
Cranberry got 3 now.
3, okay. All right. You need 5 to win a record. He's moving in the right direction. All right. Song number 2. Nobody got this one last week. Yeah, the most you can get is 2 points around.
Dancing in the Moonlight.
That is not correct. Good guess, though, because they use a xylophone.
Yes. That was Dawson. Think a little harder. You might have it.
That's a good guess. One more sample. think Dancing in the Moonlight was by King Harvest on Plantation Records.
Wow.
But that's not relevant because it's not.
David is my phone a friend.
Play
Absolutely.
just a catch more.
No guess.
No guesses. We're cold on number 2.
Yes, indeed.
Jeez.
I know. Do they have to get easier? I mean, these
Maybe.
maybe.
Okay, song number 3.
Okay, everybody should have this one.
Please.
Who's first at it though is the question. Right back where we started from.
Nope.
No.
That's not Maxine Nightingale. Far from it.
No, yeah, exactly.
Cranberry got it.
Stick Man.
Cranberry got it.
Yep. Picture. What's the official name of the song?
Yep. Pictures of Matchstick Men. Status Quo 1968.
Yes.
Pie Records in the UK.
Okay, Cranberry's done guessing for the day. But that
Okay, he's at 4.
Yes.
He's at 4. So next week you can.
Yep.
I saw your mute math comment, by the way. I'm thinking that's.
Good luck with that.
He made a comment about his winning album being mute math. So
yeah, not from this show. Not this week.
Now, if I do get multiple RSD ones, we might be able to work something out on that. Okay. All right. So that was number 3. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Here comes number 4. Another easy one.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was slick where you brought that one in at. But I got it. If I got it, everybody should have it. Sad song.
Sad songs. Who's the first one you saw?
Dawson.
Yep, I got Dawson. Sad songs by Elton John. They say so much.
That's the first thing, isn't it?
It's a first for him, right?
Yes.
All right. Congratulations. You got 1. Right. The way it works is when you get to 5, then I send you a record. So you can get 2 per show. And now I'm counting. Is this number? I get
number 5.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I thought it was 5. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Just a minute late there, Leap Page.
Yeah, he was right behind him. I saw it, but
he was right behind him. Maybe 3/4 of a second. Yeah, another good one. I got 3 monitors up. So.
Jeez. Well, you're serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. Got to be fair. What love is?
Nope.
That's what love is. There's Dawson's guess. Swinging
in another section.
Easy on that needle, huh?
I know. It's the mouse.
Mute mouse?
Mute mouth. Terrible.
I know. Come on, this is the last
That's what
one
love is. No. No, it's not. That's what love is. Nope, it's not Last Christmas by Wham.
Don't.
It's not Don't Answer Me by It's not Don't Answer Me by Alan Parsons.
Okay. I was wondering who that was. I can see how I guess Wham's Last Christmas.
But the very next day you threw it away, you know?
Yeah.
Play a little more. Breakfast King of Loyola.
Time for Letting Go.
Jude Cole. And that is from an excellent album called A View from 3rd Street. If you don't have it, get it. Jude Cole.
Breakfast
Great
King.
album. He's got 2 now?
Yes, sir. He now has
All
2.
right. All right. So Dawson got on, and Cranberry Sauce has 4. And Breakfast Loyola got 2. And Wyoming Dave is MIA. So you're all very lucky that Wyoming Dave is MIA.
Yeah, that's true enough.
Oh my goodness!
I'm going to make a little confession here and ask if anybody picked up an extra George Michael's Atmos Blu-ray. Please let me know. Got somebody.
Man, I wish I'd have known you were looking for it, because I had several attempts to get it, but I didn't want it. So
I know someone that wanted it. Okay, that concludes. That's our.
That's it.
And an unguessed.
There you go. By the way, if any of you have any questions, and I know Brian, if Boot Trader, I don't see him. Brian from Fort Worth, I really would like to get in touch with him. He has some questions on equipment. I thought I had his email address, but I haven't found it. So if anybody has that, please send it to me so I can get in touch with him on some equipment questions. But if you have any questions or want any help on any stuff equipment-wise, just send me a quick email and I'll try to answer you as best I can. I'm ready to jet off to Ohio tomorrow for a few days, and won't be back till Friday. So we have a great guest next week. We have Adam Tiro from The Freight and the gentleman who engineered his album, which is a sonically strong album. And I really would like to find out more about that session and how the mixing was done and how the recording was done, because it was really a real strong effort. So next week, 6:30 Central Time US, same bat time, same bat channel, same bat people. Wow.
Yeah.
Nick, always thanks for joining today. Appreciate it. Again, to Armando, thanks for joining Vintage Mio Records. Hope you all have a great, safe week, and we'll catch you next week here at the Audio Quest. Have a great week, everybody.